How's it going, everyone? Mega Masher is back, and in this video, we review Aurorus, which is the other 6th generation fossil Pokemon. And I just gotta say, contrary to the fact that it has one of the worst type combinations ever, being Rock and Ice, it's still a fairly solid Pokemon in terms of the fact that it has a pretty nice move pool, and it has a really good ability to begin with, being Refrigerate. But what's even better is its hidden ability Snow Warning, which is now legal to use. That means that hailstorms are now actually a little more viable when it comes to battling, because not only do you have Obama Snow or Mega Obama Snow as a potential hail starter, but now you have Aurorus, which can also be a backup hail starter if you are into building hail teams, which I will actually get into that in a video later on. But for right now, it's time to review this really cool sauropod. Viewers, welcome to Jurassic Pokemon. So here it is, guys. Aurorus. Take a look at that beauty. Man, it's one of the most coolest and beautiful Pokemon I've ever seen. Just wish that it didn't have such a bad typing, which, speaking of its typing, it's Rock and Ice, and as I said before, it's one of the worst type combinations ever because not only do you have a weakness to ground, rock, water, and grass, that's not even the worst part. You have a 4 times weakness to fighting and steel, and those two types are very, very common. And also, what's even more dangerous about them is both those types, sorry, have a priority move in the form of Mach Punch and Bullet Punch, respectively. And I guess Vacuum Wave if you're a special attacking fighting Pokemon. But anyways, you get taken out by one of those moves, then it's like game over. You are resistant to normal flying, poison, and ice, which, I mean, it's okay, but they're not exactly the best set of resistances, and you are weak to quite a bit of stuff. So that's just something to keep in mind. As for its abilities, the first one it gets is Refrigerate, and what Refrigerate does is it takes any normal type move that you use and turn it into an ice type move and give it a 30% boost in its power on top of the stab boost that you get, which is 50%. So it turns normal into ice type moves, and they get quite a bit of power. Like, that's not something to really play around with. I mean, abilities like that are quite dangerous. I mean, look at Aerial 8 Mega Pinsir, Aerial 8 Mega Salamence. Man, those things are brutal. The next thing that it gets is Snow Warning, which is its hidden ability, and Snow Warning summons a hailstorm for 5 turns, and if you're holding something like an Icy Rock, you summon hail for 8 turns. Now, in previous generations, abilities that summon weather is permanent, so if you brought out something like a Drizzle Politoed or a Snow Warning Abomasnow, then that weather effect would stay in effect until either the end of battle or until it got changed by another ability. But unfortunately, weather got nerfed in this generation, which kind of sucks because I actually loved watching Weather Wars. It actually made battles pretty fun. Now, as for its stats, take a look at this. It has a very beefy base 123 HP, has an okay 77 base attack, 72 defense, it's not too bad. Base 99 special attack, oh, that's pretty good. Base 92 special defense, that's pretty good. Base 58 speed, that's not that good, but it does get rock polish if you're looking to make Auroras pretty fast. So, it kind of mitigates its rather low speed. So, overall, taking a look at these stats, it has pretty balanced stats if you think about it. I mean, base 123 HP with 72 defense and 92 special defense means that this thing is going to be fairly bulky, and base 77 attack and 99 special attack, those open up some really nice possibilities for some pretty solid offenses. Even with that base 77 attack, it's not something to just throw away automatically. I have a set idea revolving around the physical attack. So, with that being said, let's move on to the first set. So with this first set here, we're going to be making Aurorus as much of a supportive Pokemon as possible, and it should be used on a Hail team. So the set goes like this. The item for choice for Aurorus is going to be Icy Rock, and coupled with Snow Warning being its ability, it allows for you to summon Hail for 8 turns in battle unless it gets changed otherwise by another weather condition. As for the EV spread, 252 is going to go into HP, 156 into defense, and 100 into special defense. and we'll be going with a bold nature to give you some all-around good mixed bulk. As for the move set, the first one it gets, Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock is a move that it got in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and what this does is it allows for you to lay a trap on the field, which every time your opponent switches in, they take damage from Stealth Rocks. And this goes based on the type of Pokemon that switches in. If it's a Pokemon that resists Rock-type moves, it's not going to take that much damage. If it's a Pokemon that is regularly damaged by Rock-type moves, it takes away about 1/8. And if it's a Pokemon that is weak to Rock-type moves, then it's going to take away 25%. And if you're something that has a 4 times weakness to rocks, then Stealth Rock is going to take away 50% of your health. So that's just something to keep in mind. And the next two moves that it gets, we're going to be giving it Reflect and Light Screen. And what this does, Reflect halves the damage of physical moves for 5 turns, and Light Screen halves the damage of special type moves for 5 turns. So this gives even more support for your Hail team. And the last move that we have is Freeze Dry. Freeze Dry, oh man, it is such a great move that is seriously, seriously underappreciated. And I'll tell you why. Sure, it's base 70 power. Sure, it's not as powerful as Ice Beam. Sure, it doesn't have a secondary effect to cause any status ailments like freezing. But get this. It gives the big FU to Water-type Pokemon that would otherwise resist Ice-type moves by making it a super effective move against water types. So that means that it's going to be just that much more difficult to wall out Aurorus. Unless you're a steel type or a fire type, then that's a different story. But why the hell would you want to stay in on those types, especially steel anyways? You'll get crushed. So I gotta say that this set looks pretty darn good. And I will also point out that if you're looking for more use out of Reflect and Light Screen, then I would go with something like Light Clay, uh, which also boosts the duration of screen-like moves from 5 to 8 turns, much like Icy Rock boosts the duration of Hail for 8 turns instead of 5. It's really up to you, but this here is my recommendation. So this next set that I have right here is going to make Aurorus a surprisingly solid physical attacker, and this is how it's done. So the item for choice for Aurorus is either going to be Life Orb or Leftovers. If you want to have more power at the cost of 10% of your health, then go with Life Orb. If you want to have a little bit of health regain at the end of each turn, then go with Leftovers. Whichever your preference will work best for you. As for the ability, we will be going with Refrigerate in this situation, and as for the EV spread, 252 is going to go into attack, 4 into defense, and 252 into speed. Now, this here is important. You can go with a Jolly Nature to further boost your speed, but with Rock Polish being its first move, you can go with Adamant if you want to have more power and just that make that much of a difference in the power of your moves. It's really up to you. Do you want more speed or do you want more power? And speaking of which, the first move that we have, Rock Polish. Rock Polish boosts your speed by 2 stages, so it's almost beneficial to run it with an Adamant Nature, because Jolly is not going to really matter that much considering that with full investment into your speed, after 1 Rock Polish, you're going to be hitting well over 400 speed points. Sorry, the next move that we have, Return. Return is awesome with Refrigerate due to the fact that it's a normal type move, gets turned into an ice type move, gets a 30% boost in its power, gets an additional 50% power boost thanks to Stab. So that's amazing. The next move that we have is Stone Edge. Stone Edge is a base 100 power move with base 80% accuracy and has a high critical hit ratio. So this move, contrary to the fact that it has shaky accuracy, is the best move for Aurorus to have as a rock-type stab move. And the last move that we have is Earthquake, which rounds off this set and the coverage very nicely, making you incredibly difficult to be walled out. Unless, of course, you're a Bronzong, which I must say is the bane of Aurorus's existence, because unless you're running something like Dark Pulse or Hidden Power Fire, you're not going to be damaging that Pokemon very much anytime soon, and it can just OHKO you with Gyro Ball or Flash Cannon. Either way, this Pokemon is very awesome and should not be underestimated. So in this move set here, we're going to be making Aurorus as specially offensive as possible, and this is how it's done. So the item for choice for Aurorus is once again going to either be Life Orb or Leftovers. Life Orb for more power, Leftovers for residual health regain at the end of each battle, at the end of each turn, sorry. And the ability is going to be Refrigerate once again. As for the EV spread, 252 is going to be into special attack, 4 into special defense, and 252 into speed. And you can either go with Timid to further boost your speed, or Modest to further boost your special attack. Do you want more speed or more power? Up to you once again. And as for the first move, we'll be going with Rock Polish to boost your speed by 2 stages, so that you'll be hitting well over 400 speed and being incredibly hard to outspeed. The next move to use, Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice with Refrigerate is insanely awesome. It's a normal type base 90 special move, but with Refrigerate boosting it, turning it into an ice type move, and then boosting it by 30% in power, and then the stab boost 50%. This thing's going to be hitting like a truck. And also, because it's a sound based move, it gives the big FU to substitute users. That's pretty crazy. The next move that we're going to be using is Freeze Dry, so that you can smack the shit out of water-type Pokemon that feel that, oh yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and switch in and block your Ice-type attacks. Not now, not with Freeze Dry. Oh, and one other thing, if you feel that you want to switch in your Gastrodons or, your Ludicolo's and all that stuff, Freeze Dry happens to have a 4 times super effectiveness against you due to the fact that they have secondary types that are also weak to ice. So that's even better. And the last move that we're going to be using is Earth Power. Earth Power is a move that it gets from the tutors in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which gives this set overall amazing coverage and consistency, being walled out by only Bronzong. And I will say yet again, why the hell would you want to stay in on a Bronzong? Like, it just will not do you any good for if you're Aurorus. So that's basically all I have to say about this set. It's pretty self-explanatory, yet pretty freaking epic. So, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to use Aurorus. Contrary to the fact that it has a really bad type combo, should not be underestimated or overlooked by any means necessary. It will freeze you to death if you are not prepared for it. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like. It really helps this video, my channel, and its contents. If you want to see more videos like the one that you just saw, then feel free to hit up that subscribe button and join the Mega Express today. Also, be sure to leave me your feedback about this video in the comments section down below. Tell me what you liked about it, tell me what you didn't like about it, and tell me what you would like to see for uploads in the near future. Also, before I go, be sure to check out Poketown and Cat's Epic Pokemon Cloning Group, 2 groups that are on Facebook and I will post links to in the description box down below. Thank you for watching this video, have a nice day, and I shall see you guys next upload.